YouTubers, Celeste subscribers, kisses to all of you. I hope that you're having a wonderful Friday. I am. I want to just wish you almost Happy New Year. Thank you for your love and your support. I want to thank a special thank you to Raquel and also Sam is also and all of you for trying to help me with my channel and giving me so much advice and so many tips. And one tip was about the tip jar. I mean, I don't have a button for, I don't know if it's like special, whatever. I don't ask for money, and I will never ask for money. And so I thought it was very sweet and kind of her to suggest that I open up a tip jar for myself. And it just so happens that PayPal has a button where you can donate to somebody like myself if you feel that you enjoyed or you enjoy me. And it's called the tip jar. So thank you, Raquel, for that. I know I got on black lipstick. This is an expensive lipstick. I'm trying it out. It's new. I hope it's not a distraction. Hang in there. I do like it. I know I'm looking at my lips as I'm talking to you, so I know it is a distraction. But I hope you can see the little glitter sparkles that goes along with it, because it's a two-step process. First, it's Keisha Kaur. She's married to Gucci Man, which is a rapper here in the United States. But anyway, she has her own line, and I chose black. And you put this on first, and then you sprinkle this on, and voila! So, kisses to all of you. And thank you in advance for those that have been giving to my tip jar. I think it is so awesome. It's so fun. What else is going on? There was some other stuff I wanted to say. My husband was off today, which was great. We actually went out to eat, which was always nice that we get to hang out together, and it's really great. Megan is like a dried up prune here in the United States. And pretty much no one's talking about her. She's not being talked about. She's just a fly on our wall, unfortunately. And 2024 is not going to change for her. It's not going to get better. It's not going to be a year of redemption or a year of prosperity for her. She had her moment in the sun, in the spotlight, and she managed to destroy her own self. She, in my book, and one of you said that said that those are Harry's kids too, and Harry can. It's not just her kids. No. If those was Harry's kids, don't you think that Paw would be able to see the kids? No. Megan has full control over everything that goes on in that house, from the top to the bottom. She is the mastermind behind everything that they do. So if they are becoming losers, it's because of Megan. If they are winners, which I don't even know why I said that, so let's move on. We're doing a year of reflection, and it starts off with that spare of a book everybody's returning, and I heard that it is the most returned book of any other book that's ever been written. Unfortunately, Harry will have to live with that book for the rest of his life because of his SpongeBob Jezebel. The loser woozer. And what I find interesting about what's going on with the real royals and the fake ones is that you can tell that they are being written out of history, written out of their daily, yearly lives. They don't talk about Meghan and Harry, and when they do, It's in a speech, and pretty much telling them that they've been naughty again. Oh, I got my nails done too. It's not the color that I wanted. I wanted it like a dark, deep purple. And for some kind of reason, she's got this purple, and I didn't want that purple. So, I think she's a little colorblind. Because I told her dark royal purple, and it has nothing to do with Oprah in her throwback movie, The Color Purple. No, I'm not a fan. And that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for the actresses and actors. And I heard the movie was doing really good at 18 million. I don't think it's going to do anything further than that. Well, we'll see. It's not like it's a new show. Like, we didn't know what was going to happen. Prediction. One of you said that they're running out of story clips. Hey, Megan is the story all by herself, honey. The evil within. No, but what I find extremely interesting about the Real Royals is how they are moving on without these two. Moving on as if these two don't even exist. Moving on as if they're making noise over here, but no one's paying attention. They're not in any documentaries. They're not being mentioned. They're not being talked about. The only time they're being talked about is on the UK news. But the Real Royals have really pretty much have just washed their hands of the two gruesome twosome. And Meghan is no longer relevant. She's not relevant to the royal family. And the only reason we gave a care was the fact that she was married to a prince. And now that his life is hers, and he's not going over there visiting Paw. And one of you also was trying to remind me that those kids was Harry's too, and that he could take those kids over there to see his father. No, he can't. Harry has no control. Have you seen Harry alone with with the kids ever? Have they ever went to the store? Isn't it always Meghan getting milkshakes or doing something with the kids? It's not Harry is not alone with the kids. Meghan is not going to allow him to be alone with the kids. Okay, we know that, right? I don't have to go into explanations that she's not. The reason why she skedoodled back to the United States was to cut them off and to use the kids as leverage to try to get security, to try to get apologies, to try to lie and say that they were racist. And if you don't let us see that, if you don't do this for me, then you're not going to get to see the kids anymore. That's what evil people do. But that's what I find very interesting about the end of this year, is that the last time King Charles mentioned them out of his mouth was when he said that he was going to support them from over here. And since then, they have been moving on with the go on. And Americans, like myself, are like looking in through the window like, what's going on over there? And then when we realize there's nothing going on, meaning there's no relationship, there's no connection, there's nothing, there's no attachment, there's no bond, there's no relationship. That's what kept us interested in Meghan. Why do you think Oprah Winfrey messed up her reputation trying to get an interview with Meghan? As if she had this big, like one of my subscribers said, like she had something intelligent to say.
Esther, Merry Christmas and welcome to our last show of the year.
Look,
you've been a huge part of this show throughout 2023. What are your highlights and lowlights? Merry Christmas. Well, where to begin? I mean, 2023 started off obviously with the publication.
Okay, we're good. Let's go. Because we're talking about Meghan and Harry. They have nothing. They had a whole bunch of trash. Harry had a spare book and started talking about his brother in a book. And then he did some interviews. And then during the interviews, he tried to tell us that he didn't think that he said anything that would warrant his brother not speaking to him anymore. He didn't think that he said anything wrong. But I have a question for him and Meghan. How would you feel if they did some of the things that you and Meghan have done? Meghan, I know Meghan enough to know that she would be whining and crying if King Charles or any of them said anything to her or to us about them. Meghan would be crying and whining and blaming and complaining. That's all she does. That's all she's good for, is trying to explain away her failures, explain away what she didn't do, and how it was everybody else's fault. The blame game. But she is the one that has been deemed one of the biggest losers of 2023 in America. Not the UK. In America. This is how unpopular she is here. Okay. She's deemed a hypocrite. They said that she hit the lottery and lied on the royal family. Chris Rock came out and made a bold statement and said that it was not racist and Meghan had lied. Because everybody wanted to know what the baby was going to look like, no matter what color it was going to be. But for the life of me, I just don't understand why Catherine would give a dang about what color the baby would be, knowing that Meghan was already invited into the family. I will never, that's the question for Oprah. Oprah, why would anyone have an issue with Meghan's kids' color if they first didn't have an issue with the fact that she was black? And let's just add insult to injury. This woman was divorced. She was an American. And she was an actress. She was all the wrong reasons for Harry. All the wrong reasons. And they will stay together for publicity reasons only. Meghan is not letting her meal ticket go until it is dried up. Then she's going to spit it out like a piece of corn in her teeth.
Of Spare by Harry, which, following the Netflix documentary and the Oprah interview, was just another in the series of the Sussexes whinging and complaining and allegations
Not
against how
Meghan.
poorly they were treated by the royal family. And
how she was treated by the royal family. I know that you watched the same show that I watched, and I saw her hanging on Harry's arm and was begging the queen to let her in, and that she was going to do all this stuff for the queen and be this wonderful, wonderful daughter-in-law. Got in there and did the total opposite. She went in there and made money off of lying on the royal family and conjuring up. My mom calls it conjuring. And there's a movie, conjuring up things that are not true. She had her husband write a book called Spare, and despicableness has turned his life upside down. And so I know Meghan doesn't care about what her kids are going to think. But Harry, how are you going to feel when your kids grow up and look at you and be like, wow, you really treated daddy that way? You really treated grandma that way? The enemy within. They will grow up and they will look at you And you will have to look at yourself in the mirror, Harry, and you will have to realize that you have made some grave mistakes with your Jezebel.
Going from that to obviously the South Park episode, which was effectively mocking the Sussexes and
what I got out of the South Park, I don't know what you guys got out. I got the privacy and all that. But when Harry looked down her throat and there wasn't no soul, for other people to see that. This is happening in the United States. We're talking about what the United States of America think of Meghan. They said she didn't have a soul. Your wife doesn't have a soul. There's no soul. That would have hurt me. Things like that would have hurt me. That would have just... They think I don't have a soul. They think I'm heartless. They think I'm evil. They think I'm sick. No. No matter how many times Meghan tells the story or changes the story or try to make it fit, to make it seem like it's everybody else's fault, the shoes lie right at her feet. It is your fault, Meghan, that you are deemed the loser of 2023. Over here in the United States. You can't have a brand being called a loser. You can't wear Dior clothes and Louis Vuitton and all these different brands and be called a loser and want someone to brand you. You don't have anything of your own to brand, so you're going to have to use some of American stuff, but no one here wants you. You have nothing to give, nothing to offer. She's a woman of no substance. She has reduced herself down to zero. And the nerve of her to play the game as if the royals are going to come and apologize to her when she's going to be getting on her knees begging. She'll be back over there and she's going to take those kids because no one's looking in her direction. There's no redemption. Redemption would have started a long time ago. Remember when they were going to start reconciling after the docuseries?
Talking about the Worldwide Privacy Tour, the King's Coronation, which was, just went smoothly considering everything that he had to deal with all year, to Princess Catherine and Prince William really making, a name for themselves with Princess Catherine's.
Making a name for themselves. As Meghan tries to tear down their brand, tear down their hearts, try to tear them down at every and any given moment that she tries to, the end game, naming Catherine a racist. Just think about that. Let that marinate. How dare you? The only reason why people would do the things that Meghan does is to try to ruin their reputation. But since she has failed at doing that, it backfired and it ended up making her reputation and calling her the biggest loser in the United States of America. The biggest loser. But what gets me is how she prances around as if we don't know that she's a loser. Or she's pretending like, oh, they're not talking about me. Yes, they are. They're talking about you, Meghan. Yeah, remember when the king walked you down the aisle? Remember when the taxpayers was standing outside wishing you well for your wedding. Remember when Catherine was trying to, befriend you and had her kids in your wedding? She went to the games with you. She went to outings with you. Remember when William was on the stage with you, trying to make you a part of the group, a part of this dynasty instantly without even having to go through anything? You were instantly a senior royal, instantly the Duchess of Sussex, instantly a global icon. And then you turn around. You turn around and you spit in their faces with the race card. They're mistreating me. It's their fault. Americans are not stupid. And we know that it is all your fault. And that is why, if I'm talking to all my UKers out there, my UK family, if you haven't heard by now, we have spit Meghan out and threw her as far as we can throw her. She is not liked. She is not respected. She is not a princess. She is not a woman of substance. We are not waiting for her to bust out with something great and grand. No, we are watching the demise. Sister Samantha is coming in November. Meghan is going to have to show proof. We are going to find out more lies from Meghan. And watch how WME, because I'm sure they're still going to be trying to make her this mega star, try to bury that story. And watch how we sing. You're going to have to stop me from going bit by bit and detail by detail, because I am going to eat it up. Because for Meghan to think that it was okay to say anything negative about her sister, as if her sister had a platform. Why would you say anything negative about someone that doesn't have nearly what you have? You treated your sister, your stepsister, whatever you wanted to call her, like crap, and she's coming for you. And the judge has seen, over here, we can sue for defamation, for you talking crazy about me on live TV and lying. Let's continue.
Shaping Us campaign, Prince William's tackling homelessness in Britain. It's really been quite a roller coaster of a year.
And how? Why would a sister-in-law, Harry, why would you think that it would be okay for your wife to continue to talk nasty and trash and down on your family as they continue to try to do good for the country? If you love your country as much as you say you do, Harry, then why do you allow your wife to treat it with such little respect? No. Actions show. And what she's been showing us and constantly telling us is that she is full of it. And she's a loser. And it's not Catherine that is jealous. It is Meghan that is jealous. It is Meghan that is hell-bent on bringing down Catherine. It is Meghan's mission. If she had came over here and did what she said she was going to do and focused on her non-talent entities, she may have been able to overcome the Brexit. She's a loser.
But it's been enjoyable as well. I mean, it's been an honor to report on the comings and goings of the royal family and even the renegade royals in Montecito.
Absolutely, and we have never been without stuff to talk about, that's for sure. Plans on both sides of the pond for 2024.
So we know that with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, they have apparently multi-million dollar deals lined up. They're really going to be pushing for quite a commercially successful year after.
We don't know that. What deals and with who? You're going to have to be a little bit more specific, because I don't remember anyone knocking down their door. Netflix is out the door. Spotify said, kiss my booty. And what multi-million dollar deals? No. If Meghan had a deal, she would want us to know. We would be the first to know. That's why she threw out Dior. That's why she threw out, Audible. And that's why she's trying to pretend like she has all this stuff going on. And she doesn't. And even if she does, do we care? Do we honestly care? Like, I want to know what's going on over there in the royal house. But we ain't over there because she has kicked herself smooth out the family, and they don't want to have nothing to do with her. So why should we?
Quite a rocky 2023. We know that Meghan's podcast with Spotify, Archetypes, was cancelled. They have apparently had an interesting relationship with Netflix. We should expect more production from them this year, the year 2024, apparently. So they're looking more to exert their influence in creative spaces, which is quite a shift from, what they were doing in the royal family. I am skeptical as to whether that's really where Prince Harry's heart really lies. I mean, for all the kind of shenanigans.
Harry's a prince. He's not a Hollywood person. He doesn't have any talents. All he does is charity. And over here, you can't do charity and be famous. Okay? You got to be a movie star. You got to be able to sing. You got to be able to produce something. You can't just be a prince.
That we saw with Ginger Harry in the early 2000s. He was a pretty serious character. This is someone that was in the army, and that he spearheaded a lot of successful campaigns with the royal family. To go from that to effectively buying the rights to a book, to making films, and to do things that seem much more up Meghan's lane is a bit.
Meghan's lane. Meghan's doing her spare book, her docuseries about his family. I believe she sat on the edge of that bed and said, this is your family, and we've got to talk about them. We got to make some money, Harry, and it's your fault. It's his fault that they're failing. And no, don't get it twisted. Meghan has full 100% control over those kids, and Harry can't take those kids over there, and she's not going to let them. And Harry can pretend that he doesn't want his kids to know his family. That's a bunch of BS. Because you can't tell me that Harry didn't come, he came from a loving, caring family that was like this, and then Meghan did like this to it, and then all of a sudden Harry he good with that? He's homesick. He's missing his family. He's missing his friends. He's missing his culture. He's missing what he loved most about his family. Okay.
Strange, but we'll see how they'll get on with it. I mean, we've been hearing that we hope they will stick to something that doesn't have to do with harping on about the royal family. But again, we have to remember that's been part of their success.
Meghan has to talk about the royal family. She has to be negative. She has to be nasty. And she has to attack. Because for some odd reason, she feels like if she does, it'll make herself look better and make them look bad. If she can just get 2 or 3 people to go against the real royals. That's good enough for her. So she's going to continue to push the narrative that there are some mean, bad spirited people that treated her like dirt. And I don't know about you, but all I saw was money, love, caring, and acceptance. That's all they gave her. And then for her to try to tell us something other than that, as if we didn't see it. Evil.
You know, the proximity they have to the royal family, it has been what's fueled the novelty and the intrigue around them. And then you have the prince and princess.
The intrigue around them is that they have a connection. There's no connection. The connection is gone. And so where's the intrigue? Hollywood only wants to know what's going on with the real royals. Oprah Winfrey only wanted to know what was really going on in the house of Buckingham Palace. But she got some fake, fictitious lie story that Meghan made up and told her. And that's all she got. And there's no more. There's nothing left. What else is there for her to give us? She's going to make up a new story. She wasn't over there long enough to make up a new story.
Of Wales that are continuing with supporting the king in their work. We know that Catherine didn't travel internationally on any royal engagements in 2023. She's going to be continuing on with her Shaping Us campaign, which is a campaign to help families with young children with regards to their children's early development, and also to help businesses support families with young children. So she's going to be keeping that up as well. We know that William only traveled to Poland last year and Singapore. Poland was to go and support the troops on the Polish-Ukrainian border, as well as to speak to some refugees to get a bit more on-the-ground knowledge. And he also is involved with the Outshot campaign, so he'll be traveling again in 2024 to support that. So they do have some plans in the works. It's very likely that the king will travel to have more royal engagements abroad. I believe Canada and Australia should be on that list, but we will get confirmation next year. So that's going to be on the Prince and Princess of Wales' side. They're just going to be supporting the king and his duties. He is getting on. He is 75. So that's probably going to be more of their focus. And I suspect they're going to get more support from other members of the royal family, especially since, as we said before, there's kind of been a big gap.
Wasn't it beautiful seeing Sarah Ferguson, the whole family, even Camilla's family during Christmas? All about family, all about love, all about spreading the joy, all about meeting the people for the walkabout and everything. It was beautiful. I know somebody was jealous and eating up inside. Eating up inside. We have no pictures of their kids. I don't know what kind of Christmas they had or what kind of New Year's they're going to have. But right now, they've been deemed the losers, so.
The Sussexes should have been to support the monarch in that way.
What?
And this week, the BBC, they aired a new documentary, Charles III. Here's a clip.
Beautiful.
In a sense, you felt you're part of a
Who you
family
don't see.
occasion, as well as a royal occasion and a national occasion.
What I get from these rehearsals is just clearly what a great, hugely meaningful moment this is for both of them.
I say a prayer with the crown up there, and then slowly lower it, tipping forward.
Yes, I don't think we have to jam it on, so it has to come down to here first.
Esther, the documentary rated very well. What made it so engaging for the viewing public?
I think it was just, an insight into what was going through the king's mind when he was about to become king. Obviously, we know that the passing of the queen was very sad, a deeply sad moment for the country. And so, but this kind of transition into the new era of the monarchy was something that people look forward to. And this is something that he's been primed for his entire life. So many people much engagement in the ceremony at all. His children and his wife opted to stay in California, even though for some reason he insisted on giving his kids the prince and princess title. But we'll leave that there. But there was not really much to talk about. He was not the focus. This was not about him. He's made his feelings.
Harry was only there for what, a couple of hours or whatever, and then his wife, I bet you she didn't even want him to go. She showed us that she wasn't going to support the king. She showed us she wasn't going to support the UK and support any of them. She continues to do that. She continues to tell us that. Because if she was, then why wasn't she there supporting the king like she wrote in all her letters and all that she was going to do? No, Meghan was about self. She was about what she was going to do for herself. All Meghan wanted was to be a global icon. And once she got that and got the wedding, she was ready to go. I'm wrapping it up, guys.
Of the institution and the royal family very clear. I think if he was included, the bigger question was why did he choose to be there in the first place? But that wasn't the focus. Obviously, this was about King Charles and his coronation and the monarchy being in a new era. And I think it was a good thing that it focused on that.
And something else that's been reported this week is the close relationship between Prince William and Mike Tindall. Ordinary, you'd think that was a unlikely bromance, but it seems to work, doesn't it?
I do think it seems to work, actually. If you see pictures of Mike Tindall on Christmas Day, he's very much.
You can't tell me that someone isn't jealous that Charlotte has her friends and her cousins and stuff, and Meghan's kids are nowhere to be found. They have no relationship with their cousins. And whose fault is that? Meghan would say that it's their fault. Because that's what she does. She blames. She wants the world, the UK, the United States to believe that it's everybody else's fault. And not the fact that she flew her husband over here and hasn't been back to visit and won't let the king see his grandkids or her own father.
Isolating, being in the royal bubble, and you need that kind of relief. And I think Mike and William's relationship really does attest to that.
And on to Zara, she's also recently said that she considers herself lucky that Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, didn't give her and her brother titles. She appears to have her mother's pragmatism, I guess, and look, a very good understanding.
So apparently Samantha Markle's lawyers are
Let's talk
she
about
has
Samantha.
the freedom to live the life that she wants and marry someone like Mike Tindall, who wouldn't be the first choice for most royal marriages.
Now, we've spoken before about the royal racism row. It doesn't seem to be going away. What's the update, and how could those allegations become relevant again?
So apparently Samantha Markle's lawyers are looking to have a deposition with the Sussexes in their ongoing lawsuit, which Samantha says, Meghan libeled her in her interview with Oprah by painting her as not having a sister growing up, and that Samantha changed her last name to Markle when Meghan started dating Harry, which implies that she did that so she can have some relevance or proximity to Meghan Markle.
And what was wrong with that? What's wrong with Meghan allowing her sister to have a little piece of the pie? Meghan, you wanted it. You married a prince. You became globally instantly known because you married a prince. Not because you were on Suits, because you married a prince. And then when your sister, if it was true, which I don't believe, why wouldn't you give her a little bit of something? Let her write a book and make some money. Let her make a little money. No. Evil people. Evil Meghan said, oh, hell no. I don't have a sister. I don't know who this person is. Why would someone that you know would deliberately sabotage you financially, mentally, emotionally, all of that, for no other reason but to be evil? I considered Meghan evil for not even allowing her sister to have a little bit of what she had, keeping it to herself. Would it have been that bad or hard for you, Megan, to allow your sister to have a moment? Were you jealous that she might take it from you? She's in a wheelchair, for God's sake. Excuse me. I mean, how evil is that? She changed her name recently. Even if she did, so what? What was so wrong about her having a little bit of it? A little bit of money, a little bit of this, a little bit of fame, a little bit, just a little bit of what you've been lying, gouging your way up to the top, manipulated your way to the top. But then when your sister wants a little bit of the something, you throw her to the curb. I hope that she's get what's due to her. And that it is more than what we even think that it is. That when the judge get through finding out who you really are, and Americans continue to find out that you are a liar, that you are a bully, a manipulator, a grifter, a narcissist, an evil, a sick individual that would treat family like this. But sits up there like she's some influencer and some wonderful, great person that gives love and gives to people. And, you know, I'm just wonderful. My sister she's this and she's that. No, we realize that you're the evil one. You're the evil stepsister. And I don't know how I don't know how he can stand it. I don't know how he deals with it on a daily. How did he stay in the same room with her, breathe the same air that she does? Because she sucks the life out of the air. When she was on that docuseries blaming his family, that's when he should have got up and said, I'm done with you. Harry looked like a 2-year-old, like a child that didn't know how to stand up to a bully.
And that's something that Samantha has been in court trying to rectify, because she believes that it had a very negative impact on her reputation, and it made her look like a liar.
Megan allowed the Sussex squad to talk crazy about her. Well, why wouldn't she? She lets them talk crazy about her sister-in-law, but want us to say that she wasn't really trying to be her friend. But then in the beginning, she tells us during the sit down with the sit down, what was it? The engagement, how wonderful the family was and how they treated her so kind and wonderful. Then she wanted to flip the script and say that, you know, it's scripted. No, what nothing scripted. You're not scripted. You're evil. And the evil is spilling out on the streets. And anybody, I'm telling you, these people over here that want to talk about Megan and try to look like they want to defend her, it's on. I'm going to bring it to you and I'm going to run it down to you. And at the end of the conversation, we may not be friends. Because when I get through telling you about your girl, you're going to be like, whoa, you really do feel that way about her. She's sick. Anytime you treat family with such little disrespect for no other reason but to be evil. Didn't she just say that Catherine was racist? People ain't even saying it. We're not even talking about that no more because we know it's not true. We know that Megan is evil enough to do it. And Ernest, that's his name over there with Piers Morgan. You should be ashamed of yourself supporting that. These activists that are, Black Power, Black Lives Matter. I'm all about Black Lives Matter. I'm all about that. But I am not about the BS, the lying, the trashing. just to make yourself look like I didn't do it, they did it. It's them. It's them that treated me wrong. No, honey. They gave you things that they shouldn't have given to you. You were given things that you were put into a nice, cozy cushion. You had hit the lottery, sweetheart, and then you treated it like crap. I love when Chris Rock brings that up because it's just a slight reminder that Megan's a big liar. South Park, Family Guy, Bill Simmons, grifter, loser, hypocrite, you name it. Her resume ain't gonna make it. You can't have a resume this bad in this public and think that someone's going to brand you or make you into some global person. Her days are over. Your moment to shine has shut down. The only thing you got left is those kids, wherever they may be. And Harry has no control. None, zero, zilch, zero the dooley.
We know that the Sussexes lawyers have been stonewalling Samantha Markle's legal team's attempt to get some more information.
Megan's legal team has been stonewalling. They want it thrown out. They don't want it, no. They're trying to push it away. This isn't nothing. Trying to lie on her sister, and the facts are there. If she should have just shut her mouth and said nothing about her sister, she wouldn't be in the situation that she's in. And a lot more people should sue, like Pierce Morgan. I would. What defamation? She said all of this. If she had said my name, I would sue. Well, Letitia said that she was my friend, but she really wasn't my friend. I have proof, Your Honor.
More documentation from them to actually interview them under oath. But it doesn't look like this case is going to get thrown out of court by a judge like the Sussexes would hope. So we're waiting developments on that as well. I mean, Samantha's lawyers are actually trying to, get the whole story from the royal racist allegations to anything that have come out of the Sussexes. Because again, if you're trying to win a libel case, you want to paint the other party as unreliable and, not truthful. And we already know that the Sussexes have been quite inconsistent with a lot of their testimonies or recollections of various events. So this could actually come back to bite them. I'm not sure the strength.
Ooh, this would just be karma at its best. Because all she's going to do is, she don't remember. She's going to lie and pretend like she don't remember that she was on the Oprah show talking crazy about her sister in a wheelchair. Megan, you was a D-lister from Suits, and you couldn't throw your father and your sister and your brother a bone? She sits on Oprah Winfrey on that couch with her entitled self and makes a fool out of herself. And in 2024, it's already starting off bad. At 20, you are deemed the biggest loser of 2023. That's not starting off very good at all.
Of the case, we do know that America is a completely different ball game. People sue each other over very basic things all the time.
This ain't basic. We don't
actually know the strength of.
Be careful. This ain't basic. Basic is when, Megan talks too much. And she lied on her sister, her father, and the rest of them. And now it's time for her to pay the price. And so if you feel like you can disparage me and talk nasty about me and derogatory and defame me, then you're big enough to come to court and bring it on. Because we are blood sisters, you idiot. She's an idiot. Harry, you know what he did? He went out and got the worst thing in the world. This is what you brought home to your family, Harry. This is what you brought home to your country. Excuse me. This is what you brought to the United States. Is this piece of SpongeBobness? This girl is full of evil, debacle, evil. She sits and plans, and as she blaming, she doesn't care how it affects others. She didn't care how it would affect her sister in a wheelchair. But she allowed the Sussex squad and the rest of them to attack her own sister. Like King Charles said, do unto others as if you would want done to you. So Megan, remember the 2-hour car chase? Remember that? Remember when you were lying about that? And doubling down on that? You wouldn't want no one doing it to you. You wouldn't want nobody calling you racist. You wouldn't want nobody leaking a book talking about you were racist. You wouldn't want nobody talking about that you didn't have a sister when you did. Put yourself in their shoes. Put yourself in the people's shoes that you talk crazy about. Listen, I don't care what outfit she put on. I don't care how much money she makes. She will always be a loser. She's not just for 2023, but from moments on. Since she stepped on the scene, Megan has been the biggest loser. She talked about her no-deal job that she had and how it degraded her when she was on 90210 looking like she was doing something in the car. But it was degrading. You are something else.
This case, so we'll have
Your
to wait and
sister's
see. But
coming
that's
for
another
you.
development in 2024 that could come back quite negatively on the Sussexes.
And lastly, some good advice for the Sussexes. They've been urged to take a year of silence. And while it's probably a good idea...
A year of silence. Megan couldn't be quiet if she had to run to the store to get some gum. We would know what time she went, when she went, what the store looked like, and the gum. Megan can't be quiet. She wants to be talked about. She needs to be talked about. She's eager for us to talk about her. But she's running out of stuff. She's running out of juice. She's running out of goody stuff. There's nothing there. She's other. She's not a HRH. She's not a Duchess of Sussex. She's not a D-lister. She's not a Hollywood Scarlet. She's not an influencer. She is a loser.
to, help them.
Get somewhere and sit down and shut up. Let us miss you. She won't.
Rehabilitate their image. I'm not sure they would cope outside the limelight. Your thoughts?
I mean, I don't think the Sussexes would know what to do with themselves if they weren't in the limelight. I find their transition quite interesting.
She will always be in the limelight, but not for good reasons. Just because she's in a parking lot doesn't make it a good thing. Just because she's going to a concert, jigging and looking weird with her SpongeBob squirt looking booty. Come on, roll those hips, girl. She can't dance. Somebody said she had some dance classes when she was Get somewhere and sit down and shut up. She can't. She won't be able to. She has to be in the limelight. But people are wearing thin. We don't want to know about the liar.
Couple that were happy to leave the royal family as they felt they were suffocating them and giving up the opportunity to spearhead important campaigns. And now they're trying to use their influence to spearhead campaigns, but in a different sphere, in the creative sphere, where they're signing, multi-million-dollar deals. They've got book rights. They're planning on releasing content, because we know in this industry, content is king. It's going
What
to be quite an
content?
interesting year for them, because
Esther, what content? The royals ain't even talking to them no more. Okay? They ain't got no friends in Hollywood. Meghan ain't got no deals. Nobody wants to be touching her brand. WME got to beg Kevin Costner and them to hang out with her. There's nothing there.
on the one hand, we know that if they don't speak about the royal family and the proximity to the
But whatever they say about the royal family, it's a lie. And it's made up. Because Meghan wasn't over there long enough to have any dialogue, any juice, anything to go with, other than she married a prince. She didn't go to the coronation. She has nothing. She's in the back of the bus, hoping and wishing somebody notice her. Let's see what happens in 2024. I'm out of here, guys. Kisses. Have a wonderful evening. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget about my tip jar. I'm just saying that because I like it. No pressure or nothing like that, but it is out there. And if you do give, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. And kisses to all of you. Have a wonderful night.